cup at a time. Yeah, this is tea time. Making a difference, one cup at a time. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time, time, time.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Tea Time. That's right, we're back for a second show, and it is June 15th. Who knew that we would get to this far already in 2023? This morning we had Elder Dog Canada on where they spoke about the organization who is a nonprofit. And this afternoon we have Chubby Beagle Productions, an emanation production company. That's right, we got dogs today. That's what we're doing. We're doing puppy dogs, but we're doing them in different ways. And today we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some laughter. We're going to know a little bit about diversity and animation, productions, all of that good stuff. We're going to have a deep old talk. But I have a team in the back of the studio this afternoon. I have a husband and wife. That's right. I have Bill and Karen Drastal. I hope I'm saying it right. If not, when they get out here, they can tell me. But we're going to do all that good stuff, Miss Liz's disclaimer and bio, and then we're just going to spill a good old tea. So if you'd like to share this tea time, go ahead, share it. Join the YouTube channel, give it a subscribe, ring that bell, and you'll be notified anytime we are live with a tea time. And this afternoon, it's going to be a fun time. As you can see, the video was fun. It was playful. It was, all ages can watch tea time. So let's get started. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz, myself, is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time show hosted by Miss Liz, myself, is always brought forward in good faith. However, there may bring forward dialogues and opinions that are not representative of my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the giving time of airing. For all Tea Time guests and audience participants are responsible for using their good judgment and taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussion for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It's significant to know that this show is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connection, and is not providing therapeutical advice. If you have any questions about this disclaimer or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact me, Miss Liz, through my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in today's show in any aspect, I myself, Miss Liz, welcomes you. And should you decide that the show is not made for you at this time, I respect those wishes and will see you at a later show at a later date and time. And again, all tea times are done on a Thursday this year in 2023, unless they are a rescheduled tea time. So now let me give you a little bit on Bill and Karen. Well, Bill and Karen founded Chubby Beagle in 2018. They bring together their skills in both television and game production to create entertaining animation in various mediums. Before forming their studio, Bill and Karen worked for 10 years in animation for Bento Box, Warner Brothers, USC, Google, and more. They have now turned their attention to building their studio that supports and encourages artists to tell their own unique stories. They are developing a diverse and sustainable animation studio through movies, shows, music videos, YouTube content, and their original IP. So now let me get them in here so I can take a sip of tea. Let me jump them in here. There we go. Welcome, Bill and Karen. It is an honor to have you. So, a little bit, we're going to go way back. So, I want to know a little bit who Karen was as a little girl and who Bill was as a little boy. And then we're going to jump into the big guys.
Wow. Yeah, you're going way back.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, go first.
Yeah, as a little girl, let's see. Yeah, that's throwing me off. Well, I always loved arts and crafts. You know, that was always my thing. My favorite, you know, center at kindergarten and stuff like that was the arts and crafts and drawing and coloring and gluing and getting messy and all that sort of stuff. And then it was sometime in elementary school that we had a visitor to the classroom who showed us how cartoons were made. That's also me as a little girl. I was always watching Saturday morning cartoons religiously. Like that was always my thing. I loved them. And reading, yeah, and reading the comics on Sundays when those were still a thing, the funnies and stuff. And then just being like, yeah, being a little nerd, watching movies, that whole thing. And then it was in elementary school when a visitor came to our class to show us how cartoons were made. And I always knew I wanted to do art. It's just the question I always got was, that's great, you want to be an artist, but how are you going to make money? And I was like, I don't know. I just want to do art.
Just let me do my art.
Yeah, I just want to make art, right? Like that. I got to figure out a job for
Why
this.
does money have to be involved?
Seriously,
Right?
I was
Why
like,
do you gotta bust my bubble with the money thing?
I know. I was like 8 or 9 or so, but then he came and he showed us like how cartoons are made, and I was like, this is a job. That's a job. There's art. I can do art and I can have a job at the same time. Boom, you know, all your questions answered right there. And it was like so cool to see how cartoons were made. And it was right before, well, actually during like that big, what do they call it? The big boom of Disney with like Lion King and Little Mermaid. Is that a golden age? It was like a revival sort of time. And so I was like, this is amazing. It's all coming together. It's all perfect. So I was like, that's my thing. And then I had my little direction, but it was always around art, like of all different kinds. Like still to this day, I'll like see a thing online for like some new art or craft thing, and I'll be like, ooh, I want to try that. Yeah, so it's like I've got tons of like crafting supplies. I'm one of those people who you can't let loose in like a Michael's or a craft store without coming out spending way too much money on stuff I'm not probably going to do. That'll probably sit in the corner, and I'm like, I'm going to try that sooner or later. Yeah. So what about you?
Wow, that's going back. Just to let you know, yeah, you did say our name wrong, but it's totally fine. We have
Okay, so how do I say it?
Drastal.
Drastal.
And it's totally
I'm
fine.
pronouncing the letters again. This Liz, like,
Well, it's totally fine because when you said like, oh, what's it like being a kid? I was like, well, when I was a little kid, everyone said my name wrong. So it's yeah,
still happens.
Still happens all the time. So it's like it's
Totally.
just kind of like a lot of times when I'm calling people or dealing with someone on the phone, they ask what my name is, and I immediately spell the name because I know they're not going to spell it right. When I was a kid, I spent most of my time doodling in class, like going through school. I was a solid B student because I would do well in all the classes because I would listen. I'd understand a lot of what was going on in class. I'd know all the lessons. I just never did my homework because I was always just doodling.
You tested well?
I tested well. I did tests great. Came to doing homework or anything like that, I was too busy probably doodling or watching TV or watching cartoons or something like that to be bothered. So to the annoyance of my parents. And I'm getting totally comeuppance as a parent myself. But yeah, that was what I spent a lot of my time doing. And at first I thought like, oh, maybe because I really got excited about like visual effects in movies. But no, it was in high school. It was at the end of high school. I really got started thinking like, hey, people are really liking this artwork I'm making and drawings I'm doing. Maybe this is something I could go into. And it was when I was in junior college, I really made that decision to like, I want to, animation is what I want to do. And so then I transferred over and took it seriously, and I went to college, and that's where I met Karen. And
you were a comics kid, right?
Yeah, I was into comics at first. Yeah, comics were a big thing I was into. I loved just reading stories and getting excited about characters and getting absorbed into those worlds. And that was a lot of fun. And so it was kind of just finding out like, hey, this is something that I'm good at and I can do, and that got me excited. And I love that excitement, and it drives a lot of what I do.
We have a question here for both of you guys. So what did you take in college? Did you take like animation? Or...
Oh yeah.
Well, with me in college, I didn't really have I really wanted to go to CalArts so bad, but I didn't have the money for it. So I started out going to community college, and there was one animation class, and they'd only have it if enough people signed up. So I was out in the little quad with like little flyers trying to get people to sign up so I could take the animation class. So there weren't a lot of options there. So I took a lot of graphic design courses, because I was like, I just wanted to learn stuff on the computer, because, computers, like everything was changing. Like it was when, old-fashioned paper was kind of going out and computers were the new thing. So I wanted to learn as much as I could on computers. And then because of a friend, I happened to, so I kind of went the graphic design route, which was actually kind of nice, because in between jobs when I was first starting up, graphic design was like, hey, I could like design some ads in between jobs. It kind of filled the gaps for me a little bit. So it was pretty helpful. And then it got me used to all the programs too. So all the Adobe programs, as they were getting big at the time. So I just kind of found whatever I could. And through a friend, I found the Art Institute down in San Diego, and that was a college I could actually afford. So it was like, I really wanted to go to Academy of Art in San Francisco or CalArts up here in LA. Like those are the big ones, but I just didn't have the money, so I kind of had to get creative and just took whatever was available. But as we've college was great for me because of the way I learn really great, like from a teacher, like getting the lectures, learning it, being walked through, like that's my way of doing it. But we've met a lot of people in our field that like never went to college at all, like just learned from YouTube videos or books or something like that. And it's like their personality, it really worked with that. And they're now directors on shows. So It's like in this field, it's like it's not necessary, but I felt like it worked great for me and probably for you too, because it was like, it just worked with the way we learned.
Yeah. It's almost like, because the world of animation education has also like changed so much since we went to school. Like I remember first signing up for, like wanting to look into animation, and there wasn't much. I actually got really lucky when I was in community college down in San Diego, and they were starting up their first animation class there at the school, and it was with an old Disney animator, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he had worked on like Great Mouse Detective and Hercules, and really had a lot of great knowledge. And that was my first like dive into animation and what it can do. And no, that's not my first. I'm mistaken. My memory. I'm getting old. Is my first class animation was I was just fresh out of high school, and there was a nearby school, Mount Carmel, that was teaching a class in animation by a guy named Lightfoot. And he had like designed this whole class, had designed like all this special like equipment, and I think he was trying to sell equipment for other classes, that because animation was seen as this thing that people wanted to go to school for and college courses. And so this was like, it was through the regional occupational program, and I was able to take this class at this high school, and that was my first like step into the world of animation, and it was really fun. Like there's so much joy when you take we draw on paper, we'd have light boxes, you animate a scene, and then you go over to the camera capture station, you put down your stack of drawings, and you capture all your pieces, and then you hit play on the screen. You watch this character that you just doodled on paper a million times, then come to life and do something, and that's really exciting. And that was my first foray in animation, but like I was saying, like the world has changed so much. Like
it's
now,
not done like that
like no one does paper anymore. It's all done on a computer.
I mean, you could get that set up, but that's not the standard.
That's not the standard anymore, right? That's old
it's
hat.
Fun, but...
it's fun, but yeah, that doesn't exist anymore because it's all digital, it's all computers, and also there's a lot more animation programs out there being offered by schools, but also there's a lot more information online. There's online schools. There's so much stuff, so it's almost like I feel like I'm talking about dinosaurs when there's mammals existing now. Like, and I'm not that old, but like that's how much it's changed in so much time.
There's so many options now. Yeah, like you said, there is no standard because there was that awesome movie, Loving Vincent, that was done in animation through oil paintings. Yeah. So it's like every frame was an oil painting. It's beautiful. Yeah, I recommend checking it out sometime. And then like there's YouTube animators who are doing like the most basic stuff and for animation. And then there's everything in between. So it's kind of exciting, but like, yeah, as we said, it's like it's not the college credits that get you the jobs. Well, the best thing we got from college was the people we met, the connections, like people we still talk to and swap jobs back and forth. There's like, oh, so and so's hiring. So it's like the connections really helped us a lot, and the way we learn it really helped us a lot, but it's not necessary at all. It's like a lot of recruiters are just looking on Instagram to look at people's portfolios. It's like when we hire people on, we check out their reels before we look at the resume anyway. So it's like it's more like your skills precede the papers. So it's like however works for you, especially nowadays. There's so many options,
a lot of times too, it's like the education. Yeah, the education is more or less like because you want to get yourself confident in your skills, and that's so when you're applying for a job or you're seeking a job, I know I can do that. That's what I'm good at. And school can provide that, but also if you're a person that can acquire those skills outwards, it's not a must anymore. But I mean, to kind of I guess tip my hat towards college education, like those connections, like I can count on both my hands like multiple jobs I've gotten from sources that we met in college that I never would have known those people if I didn't go to college.
Classmates, teachers.
Teachers. I mean, we still keep in touch with several teachers that we knew, and it's almost like there's times where it's like I wonder if there's a connection there or an opportunity there that I could reach out to them, and they also know that we're available here. And also, having like the internet where it allows you to stay in touch with people like that, more and more of those connections become almost more valuable than anything I can think of.
True. Yeah, like networking is huge in the animation world, and like the animation industry is small. It's like it's so funny how like you won't see someone for years and then you'll go to a new job and they'll be sitting right there, and it's like, oh hey, I remember you from 5 years ago.
I love how this question started out as just like, what classes
that's right.
Oh my God.
Going all
question.
But I love what you guys are giving, because for anybody that's out there, not education is out there for everyone. There are people in different countries that don't have that education, but they might be an amazing animation creator, so we have to let children know that school is really important. Miss Liz is all about education, but some children don't have the means to get that education or have the funding. Like you said, Karen, you weren't able to go to a certain school because you didn't have the funding, but you found another solution. And this is what we need to do, is we need to find solutions. If we really want to do something in life, we just do it. You don't worry about the money. You just do it. You love it. You do it. The money will come later, we really have to encourage the generations out there and the young, even the older generations. You could be an animated creator at the age of 60 or 80, just follow your dreams.
16. Yeah, like any age in between, for sure. That's what we love about animation, or me personally, I love animation because it's a storytelling medium. It's just an awesome way to tell stories and all kinds of stories. You know, you can really get creative. You can make whatever you want. And that's why we're really excited about where the animation world is today, because there's so many options. You know, it's like it used to be, like way back when with Saturday morning cartoons and stuff, if you wanted to do animation, you had to go to one of the animation schools. And granted, there was security with it, because if you got into one of the, like I'm talking like 50s, like long time ago, like they set up the colleges, you got in the college, and afterwards you went right into your job at Disney, or you went right into your job at Fleischer, or, you know, one of those don't exist anymore. And it's like, that kind of security would have been nice. But then again, you had to get into those schools, you know, like you said, where's the creativity? Where's the options? You know, it's like kids who didn't have that option, what could they do? But now it's like, well, now you can start a YouTube channel, or now you can start Twitch streaming, or now you can, you know, go do festivals, or, you know, like anything you want, because there's like festivals all over the world. There's just so many options. Like I could go on, but it's like, and so that's kind of cool. Like everything's been kind of opened up now. It
definitely takes a bit of I think mental awareness, because there's good education, but you have to also kind of like be aware of what's happening around you. Because when we were in school, like we were taught by a lot of these animators that had gone through that system where if you just went to school, then you applied at a studio and you got a job and you got to work there for 20 years. And as soon as we got out of school, that system didn't exist anymore. Not that those teachers didn't have good information to give, but it's almost like it became a lesson on, okay, what information do I need to make sure like is applicable, and where do I need to take it for? Because even though, they were describing a world that didn't exist anymore, they had so much more information that was valuable. So it's kind of like it's being appreciative of what else is in the information that you're getting from teachers and schools.
And also what we took from all of that is that when it comes to doing animation, or maybe just art in general, who knows, like you gotta really love what you do and be flexible. You know, it's like you can't be like, okay, I'm going to get a job in 3 months, and if I don't, then animation's not for me. No, that's not the way it works. Like you gotta
have the passion, right?
Yeah, you gotta be driven by the passion, and you gotta be flexible, because like you can have a plan. You know, I'm saying this because I was one of those ones that had a plan. Like, I will graduate, and then I'll do this, and I'll have an internship, and none of that worked. None of that happened.
Those plans need to go. I tell that to my oldest all the time. Get that plan out of your head, because you're going to get this bump, and you're going to get that bump, and then you're going to be like, I can't do it, Mom. No, you can't do it. But you got to know that there's bumps along the way.
You got to be flexible.
Yeah, you got to have. It's kind of like a mix between the two. You gotta have the goals. You gotta have where you're going, right? You gotta have your destination in mind. But the pathway is like, it's part of, you know, we're learning that's the fun. That's the adventure. But like always be heading towards the one thing. Because also, when first starting out in animation at school, there's so many options. Like the 3D was taking off, visual effects was taking off, motion graphics. And it's like for a couple of years, I was pretty like I was trying to learn it all. And so I wasn't focused enough on one. So it's kind of like you got to have your destination, like where you want to go. Like I want to do 2D, or I want to do 3D, but how you get there, who knows? Yeah. It's like, you got to be creative. You got to be flexible. You got to, be prepared for the bumps too.
And you got to be open for your own personal growth. One of the things that I've been personally having, especially with the work we've been doing at Chubby Beagle, is I used to look at everything as like, well, I'm as good as how good I can draw, and that is how I measure my worth and what I'm worth to maybe a studio or getting a job. But as I've been doing more of taking on leadership roles and directing and directing and mentoring other artists, my drawing skills have been less as an important aspect of that, as in more of like, they're still important and I still use them, but I'm not so much. I used to be really fixated on like, I gotta be drawing all the time. I have to be stenciling. I have to be working on my skills. Oh my God. It really became a toxic thing, especially as I became a father. I had other things in my life. Like I couldn't maintain that anymore. And so I had to evolve and grow from that. And that's a good process to go through, because you start to realize, okay, what is it I really want to do? Who do I really want to be? What's really important to me? And then you kind of just open yourself up to that growth, and then it'll take you to places that you never even thought possible.
Kind of like the answer to this question is taking us all.
I know, it's taking us.
This is how it flows. This is how the tea rolls in this house. You know, we go all over the place. We just make a big mess, but the mess actually brings good awareness, good education, and good, good information that maybe somebody out there that needs that information and understands, that there are bumps along the road. It's like Mickey Mouse, when he's making the cheese on the cheese factory there, and it makes a mess, and then the thing breaks, and life happens, and like you get married, you have kids, and you got to slow down. There are bumps along the way, but that doesn't mean you give up on the goal. You have to have that passion, like you said, Karen.
In fact, yeah, with animation, since it's a storytelling medium, going out and getting life experiences, actually, I've learned helps. It's like those times when it's like, raising kids. We did a webcomic for a little while that helped keep us afloat, based on parenting, so it's like we've done that. And it's like, I used to think, I'm wasting time. I'm not drawing. I'm not developing my skills. But now I look back and I'm like, I was developing life experiences. I was meeting people. I was doing things. You can't tell stories if you haven't done anything. So it's like that's not a waste of time.
The movie project we're working on right now is all about personal growth, and I was feeling that happening while making this movie. And it's like, well, I'm channeling that into the story that I'm helping direct and how the character's looking. And it's like you take that's part of art. You're expressing the emotions you're feeling and the lessons you're learning through whatever medium you're using.
Definitely. Yeah, that was what spoke to me when we learned about Maxi Lowell, the movie we're making. When I first heard the premise and everything, I related to it because it was like finding yourself, finding your strength, finding your inner hero. I was like, it resonated with me because of all the ups and downs and bumps I've gone through in the industry, working where I do, so it's like it kind of brought us together. It made us the great fit to make the animation for this movie because we could relate to it so well.
So we have a question here. How did the name come about for Chubby Beagle?
So, to the entire backstory. So at first we were doing like conventions and stuff under chickpeas. And because we have this joke between us that like we're just two chickpeas in a pod, like we're just like, I don't even know why we even started saying it. We just started saying it,
because we're both shy, anxious people, and so a lot of times we feel like we want to like bundle ourselves up in a little pod,
wrap you up in a cocoon there, open it up slow. Oh my god!
Although it's not three of us, it's just two of us, but it was just so cute. That's why I got this. I was like, yes, so it works with us. But when we went to register the name, our accountant was like, "Oh, you can't. There's because chickpeas, the food. There's already so many businesses about chickpeas." So she was like, "That won't work." So at the time, we had a fat beagle named Sally, and she was such like she waddled.
She was such a wonderful dog.
But she was so loving, and she was so like kind of doofy.
She epitomized everything that we wanted to make with Chubby Beagle, and we want to make fun, stupid, silly, friendly content. That's what we really love. Approachable. And that was just all embodied in this fat Chubby Beagle that we had. So we thought, well, hey, let's go with Chubby Beagle, and that worked really well.
I have my sticker on my water bottle.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. The stickers are adorable. Like if you go to their website, the stickers are adorable.
We're thinking we want to do another run, of all of it. Yeah, we got the dog fart, the whole thing, and then our logo. But like, that's what she looked like. She was a black and white Chubby Beagle, and actually she passed away not too long after. She had a bad liver, so she had got liver cancer and passed away maybe like a year into it or so.
Yeah, a year into the company.
So it became kind of a memorial thing for Sally.
To her,
I love it.
And then, so we consider ourselves the Chubby Beagles now. So. I
knew there was a dog involved.
we do have a new dog. His name's Leo, and he's a tidy Chihuahua mutt terrier sort of thing. And he's a new dog, but he's not a Chubby Beagle yet. We're gonna make him. We're gonna make him a fat, contented house dog. He's
a little more anxious and neurotic. So sometimes he's the perfect fit for a dog for us because we can be anxious and neurotic sometimes too.
We always joke that we're Chubby Beagle right now, but way down the line, if we like split into different sections, it'll be different chubby animals, like chubby bunnies or
I love it.
Or chubby
name. I love the word chubby, right?
Yeah, me too.
A lot of people They're chubby and they're thinking that no, it's not offensive. It's like just like a big old squeezy pillow. Like, you know, you just want to
Exactly.
It's
Come here,
fun.
chubby.
It's like Squishmallows or something, you know. It's just all chubby and fun, and yeah,
Well,
it's
like your little sweet pea there. It was like a squeak
Exactly.
toy.
exactly. They're chubby too. They're chubby little pieces. It's fun because they actually come out. So it's like,
Oh well, look at that. See, you had all the little chubby puppies running.
yeah, all the different chubby animals. You know, we'll do a game division, the Chubby Eagles. I think that's what someone
Something.
said. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that'd be funny. So, but that was just us having fun. Yeah, and it's fun. It's a fun thing. Yeah.
So you guys have worked with some really incredible people like Warner Brothers, USC, Google, Bento Box. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
All of them have been their own
all
fun
of it, all of the
experience,
adventures.
but yeah, working in animation, it's like you meet some amazing people because, like we said, it's such a small it's a small world in animation altogether. So it's like, yeah, we'd be working like when we were at Google, it was when we were in games. So we were working with some great game developers, and then they go on to like make amazing games that, you know, we play later on, and it's just like so exciting to see them.
Yeah.
See people do such amazing stuff, especially if it's like, yeah, and then you get to be a fan of it too. It's just like you get so proud of everybody. It's like a big old family almost, you know. And
well,
then
it's one of the it's really one of the highlights of
Yeah.
working in animation is the people. Animation itself, like working in any form of entertainment, is very, it can have lots of ups and downs, but it can also be kind of chaotic. I mean, I'm working at Bento on this. That's my full-time job right now, and it's getting affected by the writer's strike and other things that are going on. And it can have that turmoil. It can have that those areas of, you know, turbulence and stuff in it. But it's really the people that you work with, because everyone is creative and friendly and nice, and a lot of times it's almost like that's the thing that kind of sucks you back in.
Yeah.
Like it's the best part of it, because everyone's just wants to tell a story. Everyone's wants to share their work, and they're all just so passionate, and it's like you can't help but love everyone you work with, and that's what kind of helps get you through those times, because there's always ups and downs and everything. But yeah, all those studio. I mean, we had a recent thing where a bunch of us from a Warner Brothers production that we all worked on got together to go cheer on a friend of ours who was doing a stand-up bit.
Yeah.
And we all showed up, and it was almost like a reunion for that production, because we just all got together and we were all like just having fun, like we were just back all working together again. And that was amazing.
It was 5 years ago, and it's funny because we all got together and we all worked on this production, and the show, it can't be found anymore. It got purged.
It's got purged and everything like that.
It never got released.
It was a sad story, but there we are all together. Like we were all like the bestest of friends
And we
again.
all
And it was
went
so
out
much,
to dinner and had a great time.
Yeah, and that's the camaraderie and teamwork and everything. That's what really makes working in this industry so much fun.
And it's great because I'm a huge like fangirl. Like I geek out about stuff so often. So it's so funny. Like I started in this industry, you know, I started at the very bottom doing PA work. That's production assistant work. Like literally you're going out to get the coffee for people. But like, you know, sometimes I do a delivery and it'd be like to like one of my idols. Like I did a delivery to David Feast of Cow and Chicken from back in the 90s. And like he answered the door and I was like, oh my God.
Here's your drink.
or like another day they're like, oh, you know, Eric Goldberg needs a ride to this meeting. Can you? I'm like, I could try. Like he's of Disney fame now. And I'm like, how am I going to get through this drive? Oh my gosh. You know, it's like I'm just geeking out all the time. Yeah. On this like teeny tiny little job, you know. And then I was working on a website for like kids what do they call it, edutainment website. I was doing stuff like that, and we all went out to lunch, and they were talking about their backgrounds and stuff. And my director or the producer at the time, he's like, yeah, I worked on Iron Giant. And I'm like, keep it together.
That is an awesome show.
Favorite movies, yeah. And then another guy comes in with his Space Jam crew jacket on. I'm like, keep it together. Oh my gosh! So it's so fun because like to be working in it and then also like be a huge fan of it at the same time is like so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what you guys do, right? You work in a range of diversity, a lot of different lives and lifestyles and all of that. Like you said, people who have gone to school, people who haven't gone to school. That's diversity. So what does diversity mean to both of you?
Well, I think it's super important for animation because yeah, as a storytelling medium, the more stories the better. Like that's why we loved Maxi Lawau. That's why, yeah, we think it should when we love how it's open to all, like whether you went to school, whether you didn't, whether you have money, whether you don't, it's like you still have amazing stories, even better stories. Like I really admire and love following StoryCorps because they do that all the time. They open it up for stories of all kinds of people and all kinds of ranges, all diversity. It's like, if anything, yeah, the more the better. It's like bring it all in because I love stories. Tell me a story. It's great.
We all have different points of view because we're all from different experiences, whether from sexual orientation, race, creed, nationality, whatever. And there's always something you can learn from a different point of view because you learn something that you didn't know. You could all look at something and someone from a different point of view tells you like, well, actually this looks like this. And then, wow, I learned something I never would have seen before, or would have thought to seen before just because I'm getting it from a different point of view. And that's amazing. That's the power that art and communication have. And animation is just another form of that. And that's what it means to me. It's there's so many things you can learn from hearing people's stories, hearing people's experiences, and to only think that there's only one way to do things, or only you need to limit that or anything like that. That just feels foolish to me because there's so many things. I mean, there's so many times where I experience this. You can't tell from right now. I'm super tall. I'm like 6. I'm like 6'6".
Yeah, I can tell by the picture that you guys sent me. Like,
yeah, I'm very tall, and a lot of times I see over the crowd, and sometimes people won't understand that until I tell them to, or I don't understand what it's like for people who are shorter than me who can't see that. But it's like there's so many things to learn just from knowing what someone's experiences, and it's an amazing thing that we can all do.
And we also encourage it with our own team when we're working with animators and stuff. And artists, we encourage them to be like, hey, if you see something where like something can be added, please let us know. It's like, because I know we're the ones making the final call, but it's like I want as much input as possible. It's like I'm fully on the mindset of like throw it all together and then we'll pare down. It's like it's harder to add more later than it is to say like, okay, that works and that doesn't. You got to see it first. It's like.
Well, animation is such a collaborative form, anyways. It's you need to have everyone working in concert. And a lot of times we've found too, it's like if people are excited and they're passionate and they're enjoying what they're doing, that comes out from the work because if that energy is present while they're creating it, you'll feel that from the work that you come out of it. And so that's a lot of times, that's what we want to foster because then people then feel confident to tell their point of view, to tell their story, to put it on the paper, but put it in the animation, put it in the performance that they're doing. And that's how you get better work out of people by encouraging that.
It's almost magical, when an artist sends back something and you can feel that they were really like in the zone or they were really feeling it, and they send back a scene and it's just like, oh, there it is. It's like sparkles.
That's what we need.
There it is.
And it's so big too to go back to like I feel like that's been like the evolution of like I used to get excited seeing my own drawings come to life, and now the excitement comes from we get a scene in from one of our animators, and it's like I've known that this has gone from script, I've seen it in storyboards, I've seen the designs, and now it's like I watch it all come to life, and that's like the new excitement. It's even way more exciting than when it was my stuff on the paper. So it's like this is like the best thing ever.
And that's the hard part with animation because you can't. Well, you could make an entire animation by yourself, but man, that's a ton of work. Oh my gosh! And it's like it's so one scene. Like I'll be putting it together for like a review or something, and it's like someone else's background on top of someone else's storyboard on top of someone else's character design and then someone else's animation. So we've got like 5 people all in this one scene alone coming together, and then when it meshes together, yeah, it's magic.
Yeah.
It's magical. It's
You
fun.
can feel it.
So I want to get into tea now because I think you guys are going to do something with tea in the future. So I'm going to go to Karen first. Karen, if I give you the letters TEA, what 3 words would you give me?
Well, that's a tough one. I think for tea, I'd have to say like tenacious, like, because you gotta for me.
Definitely for you.
I'm also stubborn, yeah, but that's but it kind of goes like you gotta be, like we said, like we were talking about the road is bumpy and it's ups and downs, and one day you'll feel on top of the world, the next week you'll be like feeling like there's you're flat on your face, so it's like you gotta be tenacious, you gotta dig down deep in yourself and find the passion to keep yourself going, to pull yourself out of the like we always quote, like the never ending story, the bog that you sink down into.
the I can't remember the name.
It's like the
depression
bog, and the horse sinks into it. It's like you gotta pull yourself up. You gotta get yourself out of there. So being tenacious and downright stubborn and never giving up, it's so important. It's essential, really. And then E, I don't know, maybe excited. Yeah, because I'm excited. I get excited about things all the time. I'm the excitable chubby beagle. It's like I get excited about putting things together, about new experiences, about new stuff. I get really excited. I get like excited like a dog with a ball or something. That sort of thing. And then A. Let me see. We were thinking up a few of them, but I think I gotta say appreciative, because there's so much stuff that's out of your control too, which is hard in animation, because it's like it is such a team thing, but there's so much stuff you can't control. I guess it's kind of like life in general too. There's so much out of your control that it's like the stuff that does come by, you just feel so appreciative of it. Like I'm appreciative of all our experiences, of all the places we worked, of all the people we've met, and then all the new artists we meet, bringing on a team, everyone who comes on board. Like I'm so appreciative of all their points of view, of all their stories, and of everything they can bring, because it's constantly changing. So yeah.
So what do you got, Bill?
I gotta say, Karen has some good ones there. I gotta say, my tea is thoughtful, and for me personally, this sometimes is a blessing and a curse, because I overthink a lot, and I analyze a lot of things, but there's also a lot of it because I feel like I'm not just overthinking, but I'm examining, and I really want to see all the facets of things that I'm working on or dealing with. And so I'm trying to more embrace that side of myself, because it can lead to some problems where, okay, I'm over analyzing and I'm overthinking this. I'm up in my head and I'm paralyzed now, but there's a good thing to it, because I'm also taking my time to really understand everything. And I want to get a chance to encounter all the different ways to look at something that I might be able to achieve by hearing from someone else's point of view, or get another second opinion on things. So that'd be my T. For my E, I'm gonna say encouraging, because there's one thing I've been learning, is that there's like a Venn diagram of leadership that's part teacher, part parent, and part. You've
been doing teaching recently.
I've been doing all 3 of those. I've been a parent, I've been a teacher, and I've been a leader, and they all kind of mesh in skills. And one of those things I'm learning is that the best thing to do is be encouraging, and because we're working with people who have their own points of views and their own things that they're bringing to the table, and a lot of times it's just like, hey, let's do this. What do you think of this? And hey, you got this. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate that. Not just giving them direction, but also like telling them encouraging things, saying like, hey, I know you can do this. Just do it. And you can. I believe in you. And giving those encouraging words, those really go a long way. And then I was gonna say appreciative, but I'm gonna say
you can say animated.
I'm gonna say no. Animated is too low hanging fruit. I know I am very animated. I'm gonna say adventurous, because that's the one thing. Especially what we're doing with Chubby Beagle. Like this feels like we're on like now like a very big adventure, and adventures have ups and downs, and they have great mountains and monsters and all these different things that you have to get through. And you don't know what they're going to be. You never know where they're going to come from, but you have to be adventurous. And that's been kind of the excitement. It kind of contains all those things, I think, in it.
Well, I thought it was going to get animation from one of you guys. But you didn't even
That's
put it
too
in there.
easy. That's too easy.
He is a very animated person.
I am very animated. I am very animated.
Like, you should hear him at parties. I can like see him from like across the room because he's like big, because he's literally big and boisterous.
I am
and
the
loud.
biggest, loudest voice in the room
And you
because
talk
I
with
am the
your
biggest,
hands,
loudest
yeah.
voice in the room.
I want to get into your colors and the words that you gave me. I'm going to go with you, Bill, this time, and then I'm going to go back to Karen. We're going to reverse it. So, Bill, you gave me the color orange and charismatic. Charismatic?
Oh,
Charismatic.
Charismatic. So why that color in that word?
I love the color orange. It's I like being I'm a big, warm, soft guy, and I feel like that's where that's where I feel like the color orange just kind of like works. I really enjoyed. Color orange just speaks to me because it's sitting by a warm fire. You got a warm blanket on. It embraces and it encourages, and I just like it. It speaks to me like that ways. And then for charismatic, I think that works for me. I'm like we said, I'm the biggest, loudest voice in the room, and I like hearing from other people about what's going on in their life. I like hearing what they're doing. I like cheering them on, and
and you're so good at characters.
Oh yeah,
you're so good at capturing people's character. Like he's a great character designer. He did caricatures forever.
Oh, that was my for the longest time I was a caricature artist at various theme parks. I was at SeaWorld in San Diego and Universal in up here in LA. And
you love schmoozing it up with people.
Oh, that was the best. That was the best part is because the best way I always found to get a good caricature of someone was you didn't want to just draw their features because everyone can look at their features. That's boring. You just take a photograph. So I wanted to capture their character. I wanted to capture their personality, and the only way you can do that is by talking to people. And so you kind of just get to talking to people, and then it's like you're kind of like you're pretending that you're drawing something while you're talking to them, and then you get a sense of who they are, and that's what you draw. You don't draw because you tell them sit and smile, and everyone gives that fake smile that people do, but that's not who they really are, and so you really got to get a chance to know them and get their character, and I love that. That's always fun.
And you're really good at it. You're really good at warming up to people and stuff.
So Karen, let's get into your word. Your color is red and determined.
Yeah. Well, red's always been my favorite color since I was a kid. It's kind of funny. Like I like the color red. I love like red candies are my favorite. Like cherry flavors are my favorite. So I guess that kind of like made it like a good feeling inside. Like I know red is sometimes related to like anger and rage and stuff, but whenever I see it, I see like I'm more related to like red of like a like love, like on Valentine's Day with the hearts and the roses and it's just I really like the way it goes with a lot of colors too. Like I really like colors of all kinds. So it's like to pick just one is hard because I also like turquoise and I also like purple and I joke around. I like the Joker colors. I think those work really well together. So.
They do.
He had great color sense going on, man.
We have a lot of colors in our background because we have sticky notes everywhere that Karen puts up, and they're all color coded, and it makes for a wonderful, colorful display we have in our office.
I thought he was going to get bugged by. I'm a very visual person too, so like having stuff color coded and bright and stuff. So I guess all colors. I love and appreciate all colors. But yeah, if I had to pick, I'd pick red if I had to. But I love them all. And then sorry, what was the word? Determined? Yeah.
Determined.
Yeah, and that goes along with the tenacious, like what I said before. Like, like you gotta be determined. You gotta love it. You gotta love what you do with this industry. You gotta really enjoy it because there's a lot of stuff that's gonna get thrown at you. And that's normal. Like all the other animators and people we've worked with, even like the most successful down to like the brand new, like everyone went through so many problems. Like you hear all those stories of all the super successful animators, and they give you the highlights, but then if you actually sit and talk with everyone, it's like, oh, but then there was the 2 years that this happened, or and then this got shut down, and you really get into like the nitty gritty of the good and the bad, and it's like everyone has it, so it's like it's the determination that gets you through,
Well, if you don't have the determination, you don't have a goal set, right?
Right.
You really, and that's what you've been speaking about all during the show, Karen, is you got to have that goal. There's going to be bumps, but you have to have the goal. You have to see what the end prize is, right?
Right.
So do you guys have any big plans on any big shows that are coming out, movies, YouTube channel? Like where do we find all your good stuff?
Oh, all our stuff. Well, our biggest production right now is Maxi Lowell, which we're really excited for. Like it's a movie that's coming out. Hopefully, next summer maybe.
Next summer
we're about
kind of looking at. We're about a year.
We're about halfway through animation right now, and it's been as Bill says, been the biggest adventure we've ever done.
Yeah.
And we're really excited. We love the story. We love the characters. We love the fun. It's a drag movie, so you got to have the camp, and we love that because it's such an embodiment of everything we love about animation. I
love about just being an artist.
Yeah, about being an artist. Like there's so much relatability for everybody on it. So we're really having a lot of fun with that. That's our biggest one we're focusing on right now. On our website, I think there's a link to it, or you can go to maxi.com to get updates on that coming through, or any of our social media. We have updates all the time of like the storyboards, in progress shots, and more of that will be ramping up as we're going on. But
right now our nose is really grindstone on that.
For the future for Chubby Beagle, we have ideas for like our own IP, our own animated shorts. Actually, the sky's the limit. Like we said, there's so many options. So we're really excited for like everything that we can possibly do next. Mm-hmm. And more stickers.
So how long does it take to make a movie?
Depends on the movie, really.
Depends on the movie, depends on the size of the team.
Depends on your budget, your team, what you're working on. There's always things that come up, but usually an anime movie takes anywhere between 2 to 4 years.
Like a big studio could pump a movie out in a year.
Yeah,
I think because they've got huge budgets and lots of people.
If you've got budget and you've got more access to talent and team size and stuff, that can definitely eat into your time as far as like making it go quicker. But
and then I know there's people who do their own indie movies with like a team of like 2, and it takes like 5 years, because they're doing like the entire thing. So that's also the hard part with like like pricing out in animation and stuff. It's like, well, there's so many variables. So it's like the timeline, it's like, oh, there's so many variables.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in.
How many people, how much budget, how much everything. Yeah, so the range is huge. Yeah.
Well, I think the sticky notes help, right? Because then
we have a patch right here. We need more sticky notes right there.
Well, I had a thrill getting to know a little bit about you guys and that. So what final message would you have for anybody that would like to go into this field?
Just have like the biggest thing is have fun with it and be yourself. Like if I could go back in time and tell myself that, it's like, don't, like, the worst thing you can do is try to be fake, try to be something you're not, because in art and animation you can't chase trends, because if you're not being true to yourself, then it shows in your artwork. So it's like, embrace your strengths and embrace your weaknesses, but don't let them weigh you down. Like us working together, it's not easy being a husband-wife team working together, but we've learned the best thing we can do is to embrace our strengths and not feel bad if it's like, that's not my strength, you have to handle this. And it's like working collaboratively, working together, and just being confident in who you are and being okay with that, because it's like, if you look at all of animation, I mean, it's so huge. There's like, you can find it anywhere, online, on TV, in the movies. The new Spider-Verse films, like their look and their animation kind of blew up, and it's out of left field. Yeah. I remember when Adventure Time came out, the first time we saw previews of it, people laughed because they thought it looked terrible. And it changed the entire scene. It changed the entire, what was popular, so it's like, just be true to yourself and, keep being determined, keep plowing through, and just know that not everything will be right for you, but the right stuff for you will will come.
Find it.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Mm-hmm. If you're genuine. Yeah.
Manage your fear, because fear creeps in. It can creep in so many different ways, and it can stop you. It can push you to do things you don't want to do, or that you're really not comfortable in, or even just that it'll push you to do things that you are comfortable in, but then you're not pushing yourself, or you're not growing past where you're at. So yeah, learning how to manage your fear, because that's something I've been dealing with. I know if I had to go back and tell myself, that's something I hope I would listen to.
Would pastors listen to this?
I'd probably not. I don't know. I'd probably be not paying attention and doodling in my notebook.
So before we wrap up, Karen, you mentioned cartoons, and Bill, you mentioned comics. So how do you put that together?
It's all it all comes together because it's all telling different ways of telling stories, right? I mean, like, it's all just different ways to do it. You know, like, I loved animated cartoons, but then again, Bill's introduced me to the awesome world of comics. Like, and I'm a big comic fan now. I've got like Mike Mignola stuff. It's like it's all just great stories and great characters and different ways of seeing them. You know? It's
like comics, animation, even movies. They're like all cousins of each other. They're all art forms it's visual expressions of ideas and emotions. And whether you're capturing it through a camera, you're doing it through a paintbrush, or you're doing it on the page of a comic book, it's all visual representations of ideas and emotions. And they all have similar languages, but they also have different flavors, and they expressed in different ways, and the different mediums get you different outcomes, but they're all related. And it's just it's that human love to express ourselves and to let people know how we're feeling or what we're thinking, and that's how they're all related. And once you start realizing that, it's like, oh yeah, no, let's see what people are thinking. Let's see what people want to see, and what they're into, and what they want to communicate. And that's always awesome.
Yeah, and what medium works best for what you are trying to communicate. Yeah, sometimes it's comics is better. Sometimes a full movie is better.
Sometimes just writing a book or writing down a novel is the best way to do it. And it's all just what works best for you in the moment, and it can grow from there.
Yeah.
So if anybody would like to work with you guys, where can they reach you?
Oh, through our website, chubbybeagle.com. We have an info form you can fill out that goes right to our email, or info@chubbybeagle. They can email us or hit us up on any of our social media. We're all over the place.
We're all over the place.
So, and you guys do have a store on your website. So what is in the store? Is it just the stickers at this time?
It's just the stickers at the time, yeah.
It's a little, we started with the stickers to hand out at conventions and stuff, and then we had a bunch left over, so it's up at the store. And then actually we are thinking of doing like a second round of stickers, or maybe go a little further with that, but it's just
if the interest is there, we'll definitely want to make some more stickers.
Make some more Chubby
They're
Beagles.
A lot of fun. We adorn them on everything.
And do you guys do any fairs or like show, like book fairs, or any of the animation fairs or anything like that?
We just helped out with the Maxi Luau booth at DragCon. Oh, that was fun. That was a fun time. We had a great time with that. We
are going to be attending San Diego Comic-Con, but we won't have a booth there. But we're hoping to get a booth there probably in the next couple of years.
Things with booths and stuff, we'd like to do more, but like cons are just starting to wrap.
Yeah, they're starting to come back again. So
so it's been a little hard to figure out like who's got booths and who doesn't, but we'd love to do more booths in the future. Yeah.
All right, we'd love to have you here in Cornwall. You guys should come to Canada.
That would be fun.
That'd be great.
I know in April they have a Comic-Con, and they have like magazines, cartoons, and all of that. And I think you guys would be amazing to be here and just
give us a call. We'd love to show up, and we could do a panel or something.
I'll connect you with my friends.
That would be great.
Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me. It was a pleasure getting to know both of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing and keep staying authentic. I love authenticity. Like you said, Karen, if you're not yourself, you will get seen. The colors will come true. We really need to just be ourselves. Just serve your teas, and you guys served a really good strong tea.
Thank you.
So thank you for those incredible strong teas, and we'll be back at 7 p.m. for the final tea time of the day, and we have Dr. Teresa Mosley who's coming in, and she's a peace ambassador. So today has been doggies, peace, compassion, just being girl. So it's just been a really smooth tea day for Miss Liz. So if you'd like to know more about Miss Liz, check out my website at www.misslizsteatimes.com, or check out the YouTube channel and watch the tea times at your own pace. You can watch it 5 minutes, you can watch it the whole hour. So until then, I will see everybody at 7 p.m. with the final tea of this week.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah,
We had
thank
fun.
you. This was great.